final play of the game. Huge game for both the Suns and the Blazers. Booker rises up, shoots. Did he get fouled?
Everybody's got a little light under the sun, under the sun. Booker, that's the best thing that could have happened to him last night because he just did a double dribble. Carmelo Anthony did a great job of forcing the turnover. Covington missed 2 free throws for the Blazers. And yes, Norman Powell, Jacoby, his hand got caught in the cookie jar.
A little bit.
You got to slide your feet. You got to contest it. You got to play without fouling. You got to trust your discipline. And late in the game, you can't give Devin Booker an opportunity to go to the line. He's virtually going to make those every single time.
See him reaching.
Absolutely. He did it.
Yeah.
But also, I have to do another couple of things. Shout to Mikal Bridges. Yep. Also, a young player, had over 20 and 10 boards. I remember when he got drafted, and his mother was working for the Sixers. He got picked by them, and they got traded to the Suns.
Yeah, I remember that too.
You remember that? So I'm rooting for him. And also, Cameron Payne. And let me say this. Big shout, young fella, because you proved something to me. Because in OKC and in Chicago, I didn't think he had NBA game. I felt like he was on the sideline dancing and showboating a little too much. Like, I remember Danny Green was doing that as a young player with LeBron in Cleveland. I saw him as a young player doing that with Russ. It's like, Russ can do that. You got to still ball. And I think it took him a time to find his way.
He's found it.
Shout out to Monty Williams and the player development, my little brother Willie Green on their coaching staff. And now he's playing quality minutes for a Phoenix Suns squad that really needed a victory, Jacoby.
They did. They want the 1 seed. They'll probably end up the 2 seed. And at this time of the season, there's all this jockeying for who's going to play who and who matches up with who. And here's what Chris Paul said about that after.
Point guard.
You guys could play the Lakers in the first round. You could play the Warriors in the first round.
Man, Chuck, I hate to cut you off, man, but I've been in the West my whole career. West ain't never been easy. I don't care who you playing, what series it is, what game it is. The West always been a beast.
So Chris Paul's acting like he doesn't care who they play in the first round because the West is so hard. Do you believe him?
It flies for him, but not for everybody else.
That's fair.
That's just how he said. I've been playing in the West my entire career. He's the one that has the war wounds in the playoffs with multiple teams. Not Devin Booker. Not Mikal Bridges. And last night, DeAndre Ayton was not even playing. And that was another great reason why they was able to get a victory. But you must say that because he's the leader. He's the point guard. What is he supposed to say? I don't want to play against the defending world champion Lakers.
Yep.
My good friend LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He can't act like he ducking that.
Well, I'm glad you brought them up because the more you see this and you see even with the Blazers loss, it looks like those Lakers will end up as the 7 seed or the 8 seed. That means it could be a potential matchup with Chris Paul. I mean, which is interesting. However, they've still got games left to play.
Okay.
Should they rest LeBron and AD or play LeBron and AD, try to get the 6 seed?
All situations aren't created equal. And you know I don't like load management. Shout to the play-in series that now we're not using those terms because everybody has to compete to the end. But this is a unique injury. It's a groin injury for a player that has a history of multiple injuries anyway in Anthony Davis. Okay, LeBron James is up there in age. You hope to see him play a little bit before the playoffs. If he could give you 24 minutes in one of these games, that'd be great. But at the same time, if they do fall, when they do fall into the play-in, somebody still got to beat them twice. They can win one time, and then you know who they have in the first round? Not the Clippers, not the Jazz, the Phoenix Suns. And I think that's a great landing spot for them.
Yeah, I would like to see LeBron play before the playoffs, but we've seen AD get back to peak AD already. Maybe rest AD. Jalen, he got a big win.
The heat is on.
They got a big win against the Sixers and look great doing it. And here is the heart and soul of the Heat, Jimmy Butler, adding some perspective after the game.
I like our chances to get anybody, honestly. Nobody intimidates us. We take who we got. I think it's going to be difficult to beat us 4 times.
Nobody intimidates us. We're the Eastern Conference champions. No one wants to see us. What do you think?
That's broken news if you watch Jalen and Jacoby. When Udonis Haslem got in the game yesterday, we might as well put Pat Riley's face on his body. That's all that was. We're getting ready for the postseason. It's a lot of barking going on in the NBA. It's more than just beating you on the scoreboard. We're going to also intimidate you physically and mentally. Look what's happening with Dwight Howard. Udonis Haslem played how many minutes this year?
3.
Oh, 3. And those are 3 of those minutes, right?
Those are the 3 minutes.
Got it.
Those are the 3 minutes.
So, and also, you see Trevor Ariza also getting tangled up with Joel Embiid. A couple of altercations with Dwight Howard. And again, playoff mentality. That's what Eric Spoelstra is preaching to his guys. They're getting ready. And then they're getting your guys ready, too. Dragic, Hero,
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Those guys are getting ready.
You know I haven't really claimed Hero and Robinson this season like I did last year in the playoffs. However, recently, we're back. We're back.
Whoa.
We're back. We don't just need to tune up for the playoffs. That's what, Robinson and Hero shine when the lights are on the brightest, and they will. And they will. One thing I also want to point out about this game, which is something that I think will be a theme throughout the playoffs. There we are.
There you are, Jacoby.
And
I love those
now we're back
Miami
together.
Vice. And I love the court, too.
I just love my physique.
Yeah, you look good. But Bam
one thing I
and
noticed
Jimmy was
watching
balling.
the game last night is something we're going to see a lot through the playoffs. Double Joel Embiid, get the ball out of his hands. I mean, listen, he was the MVP candidate. He was the MVP front runner before he got hurt. But when you double Joel Embiid and you force him to take a bad shot or give it up, he's not the passer that Jokic is. I think this will be effective in the playoffs.
Listen to this hot fire I'm about to spit. The Miami Heat have been coaching and preparing their roster by adding Ariza, adding Iguodala, trying to switch everything type lineups. And I've seen them do 2 distinct things that we're going to come on this show and everybody's going to be like, oh my goodness, the Miami Heat did a terrific job of extending their defense against the Nets and trying to take the ball out of James Harden and Kyrie Irving's hand. Oh, they did a really good job of zoning up, double and tripling Joel Embiid as well as Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's what they've been getting ready for. Stay tuned.
That's why no one wants to see the Heat.